The hype has died down, but the AirPods Max still lives on. How does it hold up after many months of use? We're glad you asked.
But they didn't ask.
Goedendag, we're DHRME, them headphone reviewer men, eh?
We've really milked the AirPods Max.
And today, lactation continues. We've made so many videos on the Max that some of you have even complained, but it ain't called the Max for no reason.
We've covered the sound quality in depth in another video, but suffice to say that these are very good sounding wireless headphones. Arguably the best. I personally enjoyed using these with headphone accommodations in the iOS settings set to vocal range. That helped me tone down the shrill highs, what I thought were shrill highs anyway. But I think if you want to enjoy music on these, despite the lack of actual EQ settings, you can't go wrong. And surprise, it tends to do better with Apple Music. Vertical integration and all that.
As far as noise cancelling is concerned, it's simply the best in both cancelling out noise and letting you hear your environment in transparency mode. We did a video on that as well. Phone calls are also good, though surprisingly not quite the gold standard as we expected them to be. And you guessed it, we've done a video on that as well, with all the tests your heart could want. For all these videos, check out the playlist linked above and in the description down below if you really like going in deep. We do.
But we need to have a real conversation about the build quality, comfort, and some of the extra features that they come with, because those have changed. Apple products might be known for their design and premium materials, but they can also be annoyingly fragile, as Bendgate showed us in the past. And this is no different with the AirPods Max. First off, we have to talk about the very wet elephant in the room, condensation. There have been reports of users facing condensation inside their ear cups and even on their drivers. This creates weird sounds and interferes with noise cancellation, in addition to possibly kind of being a little dangerous. Now, we haven't had this issue, so we can't speak to it, but really, what's the point of spending so much money on headphones and having to worry about something like this? But we've been left wondering, while there was so much noise being made about it a few weeks after launch, all the noise seems to have completely died down. That's some serious noise cancelling from Apple's marketing department right there. Leaves us wondering, was it just unwarranted hype?
And then that ridiculous case it comes with. It's flimsy, stupid looking, and flimsy, and did we say flimsy? Rowan used to use a man purse at some point, but even he'd never walk around with these in his hands. Apple really set the bar low with this case design, which was probably designed in a bar under the influence of some very disturbing substances. Its weird shape and look notwithstanding, it also tends to collect weird marks and smudges quite easily. We're also beginning to see the magnets through the case. Major tip, get a proper case after you buy these, and here's why. The case does not cover the AirPods Max's most sensitive parts, the headband and parts of the cup. It's kind of like wearing a face mask like this. Now, if you can appreciate our cringeworthy humor, or, well, at least the information is a bit useful, then there's more where that came from. But do consider supporting the channel by hitting that Patreon link down below and start supporting us. Did we say support us? I think we did. Start supporting us.
The AirPods Max are a banging set of headphones, but not in the way you think. Every time you grab hold of the headphones by the headband and take them out of the case, the ear cups bang against each other, which is an unsettling experience since they are aluminium. Because of how they're cased and banged, we did baby them because Apple products feel like something that lose their charm when you don't treat them delicately.
And speaking of the delicates, the headband mesh canopy is super comfortable, but leaves us very, very afraid of what can happen to it if something sharp hits and cuts through the fabric. We haven't tested this. Maybe get this video to 1 million views and we can consider it. The worst thing about that canopy is the lint that it attracts, and that white color makes that lint just stand out more. A darker color might not solve that as well, since lint is not colorist like that. The Earpads feel like they get a bit crushed in the frail case, and I often wonder if that will affect longevity. But so far, except for looking a bit crushed, there's no major damage. So to summarize, these are solidly built except for the mesh canopy and the case. At least the canopy has a functional reason, that case is just buy another case. That's all.
You know how Apple talks big about the interoperability between its devices? That magic applesauce of switching between your iPhone, iPad and Mac on the fly? That sounds really great on paper, doesn't it? Well, it's been a while, and despite recent software updates with lofty promises, we're disappointed to say that this just doesn't work as advertised.
As an example, connecting them to an iPhone and MacBook, I noticed that after I finished a phone call on my iPhone, when I tried to resume Spotify on the MacBook, it just didn't work. The audio was playing from the MacBook, and when checking the Bluetooth connection, it would show the AirPods as being connected. So the only way around it was to disconnect the AirPods and reconnect them again. What's going on, Apple? We know you've got beef with Spotify.
But what you got against your own Siri, Apple? When I called up that assistant using Hello Lady, I faced problems with the volume getting stuck at lower levels. So say I'm listening to music and I say, hey, after she answers my question, the music volume goes down to a lower level and never comes back up. Then I have to call up the lady again to reset. These aren't things we normally nitpick, but Apple's promise of that seamless, magical interoperability isn't quite up to scratch here, not even after software updates.
So the comfort of the AirPods Max hasn't changed, but for us, it has. Let us explain. The canopy on the headband is delightfully comfortable, always has been. It feels like a cloud on your head. Every time I switch from this to something like the Bose 700 or Sony WH-1000XM4, you can immediately feel those pressing down on the crown of your head.
Now coming to the Earpads, they don't get very warm and we like the materials used, but by far the biggest discomfort is the clamping force on the ears. This does loosen up a bit over time, but don't expect it to go from uncomfortable to super comfortable. So if you're anti-clamp, these aren't for you. The one thing we did discover after months of use is that the telescoping arms really help with the downward drag. If you don't adjust the headband right, the weight will tend to pull down on your ears, and that adds another dimension of discomfort. However, by taking the time to adjust the headband just right, this problem goes away. And probably the only thing good about that horrendous case is that it doesn't change the headband adjustment after you've used it. You can just pick it up and it will remain the right size. Not the case with headphones that need to be folded or tucked into cases.
So, at the end of the day, should you buy it? For most people looking for ANC headphones, we would only recommend the AirPods Max as a luxury product. Stylish and solid, excellent sound quality, and the best noise cancelling you can find. But you can also get a little less for a lot less if you're willing to put in all the time and effort in evaluating the alternatives. We'll put links to some of the competitors down below along with their reviews.
You've been watching AirPod Milks.
And we've been DHRME. Namaste.